If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Those who enter our country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. And because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
Wow, disrespect the rule of law and deport them, no questions asked. Now, meanwhile, Tom Homan has also expressed a desire to meet with Mayor Eric Adams to work on solving the border crisis. You know, he joins us now with more. Mr. Homan, welcome back. Glad to have you. I got to tip my hat to the mayor. At one point, he was inviting illegal immigrants into his city, and then they came in large numbers, and then they overwhelmed his city, and then he had no room for them, and then crime went through the roof. And he had to learn the hard way, but he certainly has changed his tune. What do you make of that?
I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, last week he reached out to the transition team and wanted to meet with me. I got that message this weekend. He actually reached out to me today personally and like to meet, and I told him, I said, look, I can be in New York City on December 12th. So let's set a date, and I'll gladly go to New York City. I'm willing to talk to anybody about the national security threat that this administration created, especially the amount of criminal aliens that are in this country that are causing a crime increase in New York City and other big cities. I'm game. Yeah. Let's do December 12th. I'm ready to go.
What about Obama's comments and Hillary's comments? Look how far this party has come. Look how it has now become a party that wants to decriminalize illegal immigration, offer free food, housing, health care, education, sex change operations, legal driver's licenses, and taxpayer-funded college education. How did they evolve from what Obama and Clinton were saying in 06 and 08 into what Kamala was running on in this election?
Look, President Bill Clinton even made stronger comments about illegal immigration. And look, Sean, you got me. I don't understand why this administration lost their minds. I mean, we're at the point now with this administration where it's someone who enforces the law, ICE officers, they're the bad guys. But those who broke our laws, they're the victims. This whole world's upside down under this administration. That's why I'm very excited about President Trump taking back the White House January 20th. I'm waiting. I'm not waiting to start my job. I'm already meeting with Texas Governor Abbott. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. I go to Arizona tomorrow. We're already working on fixing this problem, so can't wait for January 20th so we can actually get started doing the real work.
All right, which, by the way, I can't wait for you to get on the job and do the job I know you're capable of doing and that you will do. But it is a daunting challenge. How do you find, we know there are terrorists in this country, known terrorists in the country, but we don't know where they are. We have gang members, we have cartel members, we have murderers, we have rapists, we have violent criminals in the country. How do we identify them? How do we find them? How do we deport them? How do you pull that off?
Look, it's a daunting job, and it's going to be a hard job to find these people. A lot of these people don't have a digital footprint because they come under false names. This administration, they released them. They didn't do proper vetting. I'm finding out today that a lot of these children, 300,000 missing children, that they didn't even take fingerprints of the sponsors that they supposedly, vetted. So it's going to be a daunting task. I'm hoping the records maintain. I know Jim Jordan reached out and told them to maintain the records. I doubt that's going to happen. It's going to be a difficult task, but ICE is very good at what they do. Under the Trump administration, they removed record amounts of criminal aliens. Under the Biden administration, ICE has the lowest numbers of removals in the history of the agency, even though we have a historic crisis. So it's going to be hard work, but I got 20,000 men and women that are very good at this. We're going to work very hard to find as many as we can, and at the same time rescue these children.
While you prioritize deporting criminal aliens and known terrorists and cartel members and gang members, what happens when law enforcement on an everyday basis encounters people that are in the country illegally? What do you do in that case?
Great question. That's why I'm excited about meeting with Eric Adams. So right now, NYPD doesn't assist ICE. They don't accept our detainers. I used to have a dozen agents in Rikers Island. Now we got 0. So, and this is what the sanctuary cities need to understand. And if you don't let us in your jail, if we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail, and you release them, that means I got to send a team of agents into the community. And when we find them, and we will, there's going to be others that weren't even on the radar that are in the country legally. Well, guess what? They're going too. So these sanctuary city policies are going to result in exactly what you don't want: more agents in your neighborhoods. And that's what we have to do. So I'm hoping meetings with sanctuary cities, mayors like Eric Adams, will help us get the bad guy in the safety and security of the jail, rather than sending ICE agents out to neighborhoods where the bad guy has access to who knows what weapons. It's more dangerous for the officers. It's more dangerous for the alien. It's more dangerous for the community. Work with us. Help us make your city safer.
Okay, let's be very clear. Jurisdiction, we have the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. We have the Arizona decision. Jurisdiction in terms of who makes the decision about deportation lies with the federal government. If Gavin Newsom or Kathy Hochul or any liberal governor, mayor, whatever, wants to get in the way, you will not allow that, correct? That is not constitutional.
I will. No. They can fail to help us, so get out of the way. We're doing it. You can sit there and watch. However, you can't cross the line. I've said it many times over the past 2 weeks. Title 8, United States Code 1324, Section 3, III. It is a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's a felony to impede a law enforcement officer in the performance of their duties. Don't cross that line, because there will be consequences. And thank God we got a strong Attorney General coming in, Pam Bondi, and I will push those prosecutions. So you cannot help watch us, which I can't believe a mayor or a governor doesn't want to take public safety threats out of the community. You can sit there and watch us do it, but do not cross that line. There will be consequences.
So every governor, every mayor, sanctuary city, sanctuary state has been guilty of violating the law. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, I have said have blood on their hands, and they have been aiding and abetting in the law breaking. But that all comes to an end on January 20th. Tom Homan, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.